Bushido versus chivalry. Bushido means the way of the warrior. It is a Japanese word for the way of the samurai life. Bushido originated in the 12th century but wasn't written down until the Edo period. However, Bushido was abolished in 1868. Bushido and the Bushido Code is thought to be based on Zen and Confucianism. There are 7 virtues in the Bushido Code: justice, the use of authority to support what is right; courage, the ability to face danger or hardship and keep calm; benevolence, show kindness or compassion; respect, politeness; honesty, truthfulness; honor, support of the principles considered right; and loyalty, steady allegiance to one's family and friends, country, and ideals. Although they weren't developed in the same continents, I feel that Bushido and chivalry share many similarities but also have their many differences. While knights and samurai were both warriors, their weaponry and armor differed. While knights and samurai were both warriors, their weaponry and armor differed. The medieval knight's offensive weapons included the lance, a spear, and the sword. He wore a defensive garment called the coat of mail, made of interlinked metal rings, and the plate of armor made of steel and/or iron. The knights also used bows and arrows, although their use were prohibited at some times. However, the samurai carried 2 swords, the katana, which means the long sword, and the wakizashi, the short sword. They were always worn together. The swords were built in a certain way. They were double-edged and curved. They had a soft steel core and a hardened steel exterior. They were always hand-forged. They also used the bow and arrow. They were usually made of bamboo, wood, and leather. The arrows were made of bamboo with metal tips. The samurais were very different from the knight's armor. The samurai's armor was very artistic. It was designed with different colors and was usually made of iron, brass, and leather. It usually took 4 to 7 months to make. Though the knights and the samurai's weaponry differed, their codes and responsibilities were similar. One code of chivalry states, "Thou shalt show loyalty to truth and to your pledged word." This means that the knight should be truthful and be truthful to his word. This is similar to the Bushido code virtue of honesty. Another chivalric code states that thou shalt refuse to retreat before the enemy. This means that a knight must stand before the face of danger and meet his enemy. This is similar to the Bushido code virtue of courage. Another code is, thou shalt obey the orders of those appointed above you, as long as those orders do not conflict with what you know to be just. This means that the knight must respect the orders of those above him as long as they are just. This is similar to the Bushido code virtue of respect, in which the samurai is supposed to respect the orders of the daimyo. Both the Bushido code and the chivalric codes were basic responsibilities that the knight or samurai must have. Lastly, the rights and responsibilities of the samurai and the knight. The Bushido code is made up of 7 virtues. They are the basic responsibilities of the samurai. The samurai was to serve the daimyo like the king did his lord. His main duty was to protect the daimyo at all costs, even if it meant death. He was to have absolute loyalty to the daimyo and was to commit suicide if he dishonored him. The chivalric codes were another set of codes and responsibilities that the knight was supposed to have. The knight served his lord and his country. The knight was supposed to never abuse his power and was supposed to protect his kingdom, his king, his lord, the weak, and his serfs. The knight was required by the chivalric codes to protect his king and women. Both the samurai and the knight were to protect his country and those highest in power. Both shared just about the same status in society according to their case. In conclusion, chivalry and Bushido, the samurai and the knight, have their many differences and similarities, but they were both meant for the same reasons: to protect their lord or daimyo. Also, the Bushido code and the chivalric codes were meant to instill the basic requirements of a true warrior.